Hello, Bucs fans. Welcome back to Real Bucs Talk. And it's crazy to believe that we're only 3 weeks away from the 2024 NFL Draft. And, a lot of discussion has been about the Buccaneers taking an edge early or taking a receiver or cornerback or interior offensive line has been the big discussion, especially in round one. But a need that I want to discuss that could have real potential of being selected early, whether that's round one or round two or even round three, basically within the top 3 rounds, and that is interior defensive line yet again. I know the Buccaneers have drafted that position the last 2 years with Logan Hall, as you see there, and Calijah Cancey, to team up with Vita Vea in the middle. But after them, there's just not much depth. There's not a lot of potential there as far as youth. Yes, they are expecting Logan and Calijah to continue to ascend, and you hope Vita Vea just continues to be, himself as far as his dominant force that he can be. But after them, there's just not much there. You have Mike Green, you have Greg Gaines, who they re-signed, who's a decent depth piece, but really there's not much after that. And I think they would really like to add another piece behind the starting three that I mentioned, or even get a potential upgrade and maybe move Logan Hall in more of a situational role where he's more of a pass rush specialist as a third down option or just rotation in general. And you bring in a high level player that could come in and maybe do a little bit more. I mean, you're just looking at the interior defensive line prospects. Obviously, Brian Murphy and Johnny Newton are the top two. And then you look at Braden Fisk, you have Michael Hall Jr., Chris Jenkins. All these guys I really like. I think the targets, especially for round one, would be either Brian Murphy or Johnny Newton. And then you look at I really like Michael Hall. Chris Jenkins would be someone, and then Brandon Dorlus down here from Oregon. I think any of those guys would be definitely considered as targets. Players that could come in and help the not only the pass rush, but just help your overall depth from an interior defensive line standpoint and make others better, get a better rotation. And I think that would be very wise of the Buccaneers to address that position yet again. And I think it's, Todd Bowles, he likes having, multiple defensive looks, multiple fronts, really mixing things up. We saw Kalijah Cancey rushing from the edge quite often last year. So I think you could see some of that, continuing if the Buccaneers were able to land one of these guys like a Brian Murphy or John Newton or even a Michael Hall Jr. to come in here, be another force on your pass rush. And with the edge group the way it is and not as strong as it has been in years past, I think it's definitely possible, especially if you don't have, a lot to available at 26 or you can't get the right edge player that you want in rounds 2 or 3. I think it's possible to look at these guys like a Brian Murphy from Texas, who, again, smaller in stature. He's about 6 feet tall, but he's a bowling ball and very athletic, very good hand usage, can get into the backfield and make plays. Johnny Newton, same thing. Also a hometown kid from St. Pete. So that would be pretty cool to add someone like him. A little bit bigger as far as size, 6'2", 304. But again, just excellent player, knows how to get in the backfield, knows how to play the run or the pass. And both I think are really worth first round consideration. And, both of these guys could very well be gone by the Buccaneers pick. But I think both of them would be, really good prospects to have if one of them were available at 26. And I think you make that selection. Uh, you look at, Chris Jenkins. Now, these are more round two, round three players. I think Chris is very underrated. I think he'll be a very good player. His dad, former NFL pro, played with the Panthers, played with a number of teams, was really good. And I think his son will just be as good. Long arms, 34-inch arms, and can really play, 5 tech, or he can play the 3 tech or the 1 tech. So very versatile with his game, and I think would be a good prospect. You look at Michael Hall. Hall is a little bit more leaner, more athletic, a little more quicker with his game, and he can really get after the passer, really good pass rusher, and just disruptive. So any of these guys, and then Dorless, I really like as well. I think he would be someone that you could, develop within time and eventually start potentially. So I think interior defensive line could definitely be an option yet again here early in the draft. And I think it's something that needs to be talked about more as we get closer to draft time. And what do you guys think? Do you think if one of those top guys are there, especially at 26, it could be in consideration? And I think it makes a lot of sense, especially if you have better interior rushers, that helps your edge guys, maybe be a little bit better, get more one-on-one matchups, and hopefully that helps them win on the outside even more and be more efficient as a rushing unit. But yeah, let us know what you guys think of this idea or thought process. I just feel like the interior defense line could be targeted yet again early in this draft, especially with the talent that could be available and could be, just better players overall to be had at that position. So let us know what you guys think. Hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts of, the Buccaneers drafting another interior defense lineman. Let us know who you like personally. Who should they target? And with that said, until the next one.